Welcome back. Today we're going to dive into something really quite transformative, I think. How to shift our daily work from, just this source of endless stress into a path for, well, greater presence and resilience. We've gathered some fascinating insights from our sources on making this happen, practically speaking.
Yeah, and our mission here really is to pull out the most useful, actionable stuff for you from these sources. We're talking about learning how to pay attention, building that resilience, whatever job you do, because, mindful work isn't really about landing the perfect Zen job, is it? It's more about finding ways to be present, truly focused, even when you're doing like the really routine things.
Right. So the core idea, it seems, is that work isn't just a duty or a paycheck. It's this huge chunk of our lives where, well, we can either get totally swept away by the rush and the pressure, or we can actually use it as a place to, practice attention, build some inner strength. The source is really stress. It's less about what you're doing and much more about the attention you bring to it.
Exactly. How often feels like the impossible bit to change, though, doesn't it? Which is where these simple but actually quite profound techniques come in. Let's start with one you can do in like seconds. We all know that feeling, right? That urge to just jump into the next thing.
Yeah.
Constantly.
So the first tool is called the 3 breath before a task exercise.
Yeah.
Sounds simple, maybe too simple, but before you write that email or start a project, just stop. Take 3 deep breaths in and out, and then just kind of say to yourself mentally, right now, only this.
Okay, 3 breaths. Right now, only this. It sounds almost ridiculously simple.
Yeah.
Do the sources explain why that works? Like what's happening in that tiny pause? Yeah, they do. It's basically like a micro intervention. You're hitting pause on that automatic go, go, go response. Our brains love habits, right? And often the habit is just reacting instantly, often with stress. So these 3 breaths, they consciously interrupt that pattern. It gives you this little window to choose focus instead of just, frenzy. It's not just about feeling calm. It's actually helping retrain your brain a bit, less reactive, more intentional. It also helps cut down on what researchers call attention residue. When your mind is still stuck on the last thing you did.
Attention residue. Yeah, I get that. Okay, so that helps with starting tasks. But what about like the mid-afternoon slump or just feeling drained by lunchtime? Any tips for keeping energy up all day?
Absolutely, and it's something so basic we often forget it. It's what the sources call a mini break with meaning. The idea is roughly every hour or two, just take 1 minute, literally 60 seconds. Stand up, stretch a bit, get some water, or just close your eyes. It's not just about resting your eyes, it actually helps reset your brain's attention networks, counters that attention fatigue. You feel your body, your breath, the moment. It can honestly feel like getting a second wind.
A 1-minute reset. I like that.
Yeah.
Manageable. But mindfulness isn't just internal, right? What about how it affects, say, our communication? Like those emails we fire off and then regret.
Oh, definitely. That's a great example. The sources had this really good mindful case. Someone felt that rising frustration, about to write a really sharp email, you know the feeling. But instead of just hitting send, they paused. Used that moment of mindfulness. Then they rewrote it, gently. And the result? Much smoother conversation, saved a lot of emotional energy, avoided unnecessary conflict. It really shows how that pause lets you regulate your emotions. Choose a better response instead of just reacting.
That makes a lot of sense. Protecting relationships and your own energy, too. Okay, so beyond the breaths and the mini breaks, did the sources mention any other sort of extras? Environmental things, maybe?
Yeah, a few nice extras. For focus, certain kinds of music were mentioned, like Ólafur Arnalds or Nils Frahm, stuff without lyrics usually. It can act like an anchor for your attention. And then there's a nutrition tip, which I thought was interesting. Just take 5 minutes, only 5, to eat 1 meal or snack with 0 distractions. Really focus on the taste, the texture. It's not just about enjoying it more. Mindful eating actually helps your nervous system calm down, improves digestion, gives you better energy.
Mindful eating for energy. Okay. And setting the tone for the day. Anything from the start of work.
Yes, a lovely little mini ritual. When you start your workday, just place your palm on your heart for a moment and say to yourself, I work not to rush, but to be present. Just setting that intention. This also connects to other tips, like breaking work into focused blocks. Maybe 3 40-minute chunks of real concentration are way better than 2 hours of being constantly distracted. And trying to do just one small task each day with your full, complete attention. Even if it's tiny, it builds that muscle of presence.
Wow. Okay. So it's really about these small, consistent, intentional actions. The breaths, the breaks, the focus, even how you eat or start the day. They really can add up to, well, more presence, more peace, and probably better work, too.
Exactly. So maybe a final thought for you to take away and reflect on. Think about those moments during your workday. When do you usually slip into autopilot? Or what specific things tend to trigger that feeling of tension for you? Just consider, how might applying even one of these simple techniques, maybe just the 3 breaths or that 1-minute break, how might that change that specific moment for you tomorrow?